is such a running theme in romances. It's not something that I love, but it's definitely something that gets me every time, is anytime people fall in love and there's some like commentary or like something to do with class. So like this book, oh God. This book is another book that I cried, but unlike the other books, I didn't cry at the end. I cried from the first page to like the first 60% of the book. I was crying. So this book is about Hugh Devereaux, who inherits debt from his dad. And his dad passes away and he's the oldest, so he inherits all of the debt. So outwardly, everybody sees him as he's a man of stature, like he's a duke and he has all this money. And that is like literally not the case. They're like struggling to make ends meet. And then there is so he like gambles one night, and a man who's like an industrialist, I'd say at the time, he is new money and he doesn't have a title. So his daughter doesn't have a title, and he wants his daughter Eliza to marry a man with a title. So he says to Hugh, he's like, if you like pursue my daughter, I will like give you a certain amount of money. So then he starts to like flirt with her a little, and Eliza, the thing about Eliza is she's so nice and sweet and like, but she's pretty boring. Like, but I love that about her. She was just such a normal woman. She's like, I love my dog. I like go for walks. Like, there was really nothing that was like exciting about her, except for the fact that she was like really kind. That was like pretty much it. And the reason why this book made me cry like so long is because I was worried that when she found out that she was going to call him poor and like degrade him or be like very, very angry at him. And I thought it was really interesting because just like in the world, I think so often we malign poor people as sort of being like manipulative or like what do they want. And he was really just trying to survive. Like his younger sister was going to get married and she needed to have a dowry. And it made me think a lot about class current day in the US and what people do for their families and how people get shamed into sort of being like money hungry or like a status chaser. And it's like, well, this is capitalism. Like, of course somebody's like trying to chase status. Like nobody wants to be poor. And it made me think a lot on like the differences, like, can you pursue money honestly? And what does it mean to love somebody or fall in love with somebody for the wrong reasons, or initially the wrong reasons, but for it to still be the right thing? Like, I still like that they were together, and it became clear that they were really good together, even though he was keeping something really important from her. But it was so much shame was wrapped up in it. And I think there's so much shame wrapped up in being poor and being lower class. And you feel like unworthy, and it's really hard to talk about. And so when it finally came out, I like that Caroline Linden didn't put the blame on him, but instead made the conflict about Eliza and her dad. And it made me think about honesty, and if there's like, is it always the upstanding thing? Can always like doing the upstanding thing get you the results of like the good thing, the good outcome? Very thought-provoking.
Very, very. Oh, if they just had different covers, I would read them.
Honestly, rip off the cover. Like, I don't care.
Oh my God, you can't do that to books. That's for me. Insane, Danny. Okay. Lastly, we cannot talk about romance without talking about Jasmine. Like, hello. Everyone knows about her. Okay, so this is her most recent one. Came out in June. No idea when this one came out, but before this year.
May last year?
May, June-ish. Okay. So the thing that I love the most about Jasmine's books is all of her books, the protagonists are very strong Black women. They're curvaceous, they have natural hair, like they're not itty bitty and like looking to find, but they're always not looking to find love. So this is my favorite of her series, because this is the enemies to lovers. Best trope ever. So Maddie and Theo are the best friends of Alexa, who got married in the wedding date. And they absolutely cannot stand each other. Alexa's getting married, and she's a bridesmaid and he's a bridesman, which I never heard before, but I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, bridesman. So they obviously have to set up events together. They have to be together a long time. So one day they just randomly have a one night stand, and they're just like, how did this happen? But I want it to happen again. I feel like this was the most organic, like, falling in love that I've ever read, because they were very much just having sex, and then because they saw each other so much, it kind of became, okay, now we're friends. Now if you're having a bad day, you can call me. If I'm having a bad day, you know, I can call you. And then it kind of turned into, I want to share all my innermost secrets with you. And it felt so relatably, like, human. Like, they wanted to find their partner, but because they had so many insecurities of their own, this was the best one. It was so good. But to quickly talk about Party of Two, the reason I love this book, they eat every chapter, truly. They're always eating. Okay, well, first of all, their names, Olivia and Max. Max is a senator. Olivia is just moving to LA. They meet in a hotel bar. She has no idea who he is. They strike up conversation. She tells him in conversation, like, she really loves a 3-layered chocolate cake. And then they leave, and he has no idea who she is. She has no idea who he is. He finds out and sends a 3-layer cake to her office that says, like, will you go out with me? And then, like, his number is there. And I was like, if a man ever did that to me, we are getting married now. Like, you sent me a cake to ask me out. You sent me a full, not a slice, the full cake.
I know.
The full cake. It was not a compromise. I feel like compromise is so hard in a relationship, and Jasmine talks about it really well here with two people that have highly stressful jobs and are always busy, and they have to compromise or it wasn't gonna work. And, you know, Jasmine, keep doing your thing. Love it, love it, love it.